Today let's learn how to paint a simple, basic, realistic tree. So I'm starting here by drawing a simple, quick sketch using my mechanical lead pencil. And as you see, I've drawn certain segments of tree, like what is in the foreground, what is in the background. And I'm just going to make a little bit like lines, hatching to make the shadows and to make myself understand like where I'll be painting the light shades and where it will be like darker shades to highlight the shadows and the highlights and all that. So this is like how I'm sketching. You can use any light pencil or any drawing pencil to do that. And once you're done, I would recommend like erasing a little bit so that it doesn't get in the way of you painting. So you can erase a little bit very gently so that it just holds the shape, like rough structure of your subject that you're drawing. And I start by painting a base layer. Base layer is nothing but just to enhance or just to like see wherever the image is. And adding a base layer gives a nice effect to the on top colors that you're going to add. Now I'm starting by adding like a little bit of yellow for the lighter segments of the tree, like wherever the shadows are or the light is reflecting through. So you can start however way you like, but I really like to start with the lighter shades and just a tip. Like when you are using watercolors, it's really difficult to correct your mistakes once they're done. So it's always a good start to start good practice to start with the lighter shades and then to follow on with the darker ones, like wherever you want to have shadows or more darker effects. So it is drying up here pretty quickly because of the weather. It's getting summers here now, and it dries like as and when you paint. So once I'm done with my lighter shades, I'm like adding light green, or you can add any of the shades that you would have. I have here is a basic light green or sap green, you can say. Leaving a bit of yellow, and then on the rest of the area, I'm adding greens. And it's for me, it's good to cover the whole area and not leaving because it when different colors gets mixed up together, it creates different beautiful shades and which have depth and meaning attached to it. So once you're done adding these lighter shades, just give it a quick look and scan through like whether any more areas you want to attach to or any shape or corrections that you would want to make. And then moving on to add a lighter shade of brown to the stem of the tree and just try to have it as natural as possible because tree stems are not always the straight, they're not always in the perfect shape. So you can really like leave it up to your brush and to your hand movements, like how realistic it could be, how proportionate it can be. So it'll all be just fine. And then adding some layers of different and darker browner shades, or maybe you can add a tint of blue if you would want, or maybe a little brown mixed with a little black. I don't have black shade here with me right away, so I'm adding just the tones of browns to it slowly and steadily, and then moving some tree branches, you can say, or some tree twigs inside the tree foliage, or maybe on the outer parts of it. So it will give a realistic and a nice effect to your painting, and it will not look like you're drawing like a cartoon tree. It will rather look like a more realistic one. And you can add little stems, or maybe you can avoid. Like it's totally up to you how you would want to go about it. I always like adding a little tree branches inside and maybe giving a little curving edge to the stem, and just to make it a little bit more realistic. That's all. Now moving forward, once your paint is dried on your tree, you can add more color to it. You can start by adding the same greener shade, and then while it's still wet, you would want to add a little darker shade to it to give that subtle effect. And once you're done, if you would want, you can blend it all through. If it's not too dry, if it's not looking too patchy, it's totally up to you. Like how would you would want to proceed? Like it for me, it's always a blend of like wet on dry, and then to give a more depth, it's like wet on wet to give that subtle merging effect to it. And then I'm adding slowly layer by layer, like beginning from top, from bottom, wherever you would like. Like there's no fixed criteria as in which you would like, you would want to add the depth of the trees. You can do that. Um, I am now like adding here and there bits and pieces, and I'm thinking maybe I'll just leave it something to dry on so that after that I can add more and more layers to it. Adding more and more layers to your painting gives it depth and meaning, and it feels like it's not an image, but it looks like more like a 3D or real. Like for me, it is. I don't know about you. Um, yeah, so let's enjoy some painting. To give it interesting colors, you can add a little bit of blue or indigo in your green pigment, and it certainly gives a very beautiful shade of green and a very different one. If you would want to experiment with different colors, I'd recommend doing that on a separate sheet of paper before you put that to your actual painting. And at the end, I always like to give some black outline to my subject. And here I'm using this micron nib pen. It is 0.1 nib size, and it's my like favorite go-to pen for all my artwork. And I'm giving just a little bit of detailing wherever I feel it's needed, like on the stem and the tree, and on the twigs. And then you can start, and you can then see like I've started adding some of these little highlights to the tree leaves to make it more look like to an actual tree. And although I started with it great enthusiasm, but I felt like it's really going to take me quite some time. But anyways, the outcome, I'm really loving it, how it is turning out to be. So I think I'm just going to continue with this one. Anyway, I can't leave it now because otherwise it'll look pretty bad. But yeah, let's continue with this, and you'll see me highlighting every detailed part of the tree, and maybe wherever you would want to add a little more highlighted one, like give more weightage to a particular segment of a tree, you'll see me adding a little dots, maybe. Yeah, I'll be adding little dots in the end to give it more detailed view, and I hope it turns out good. Yeah, so let's see. Certainly it's taking me quite a bit of time to do this here, and trust me, you need to practice the stippling and a little bit of like using the pen, because if you lose patience in doing this little pen work, it's going to ruin your work, trust me. So patience is the go-to mantra, and you have to do it patiently, slowly, and steadily. This video is like fast forwarded for the purposes of the time period that I have to like squeeze the video in for uploading here on YouTube. But it requires a lot of patience. I seriously advise you to practice a lot, and if not a lot, maybe like for 5 minutes every day, it would really help. Yep, it would. It would really help you practice stippling, hatching, and all these little pen detail. And it really adds value to your artwork. It really looks nice once you do this. So yeah, practice as much as you can. Practice. almost done here with this little part left. And hopefully, like as far as I am enjoying painting this, you are enjoying watching this as well. And feel free to comment, ask questions, and maybe if any suggestions or any advice that you would need, I'll be more than happy to help you. Please let me know what you think about this and how you think it could be improved, or is it already good? Like, please share your suggestions and feedbacks. I really appreciate your advice and your feedback, and I'm just so glad you're here. And thank you so much for being here and joining me in painting this beautiful tree. This is me just adding a little bit unnecessary details. I always end up overdoing my work because I'm just so involved in it, and I just feel like drawing, painting, and continuing. But you must know when to stop and where to stop. It should not look like you have overdone it or you have added a little too much of paint where it's not needed. So a good balance, a good composition is really important for you to paint a good picture and tell a good story. Always, mostly always, I like to add some text or some short quotes to it, which are inspiring to me, and I believe they hold a good meaning to our life as well. Like, stay grounded is the message that I would want to share with this tree as a symbol of being true to your values and true to yourself. Stay grounded, stay faithful. Thank you for watching. Thank you.